Hey guys, today we got a IC off of an iPhone 6 Plus. This is actually the Cumulus IC, which is responsible for the touch. One of the ICs that's responsible for the touch function on these 6 and 6 Plus, and both of the touch ICs are known to cause issues where the touch doesn't function anymore. So what I've been asked to do by one of my users is to demonstrate this using pre-made balls. Generally on an IC of this size I would use paste and usually have very good results doing that. However, because I was requested to show myself repairing an IC with pre-made balls, I decided to do this IC for two reasons. First of all, because I'm getting ready to use it, and the second reason is because it is a smaller size and it's not really as time consuming to make a video on. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start this video, and what I'm going to do to start with is just put down a little piece of two-sided tape just so that my IC doesn't move around a lot while I'm removing the balls that are currently on it. It's going to help me keep the IC in the focus of the camera, I hope. Alright. First thing I want to do is start by adding some good flux. I'm going to go ahead and remove the majority of the balls. So it's got most of the lead-free solder off there. Then we're going to add some low melt. And then I'm going to wick this. So we're going to call that good. And then we're going to clean this flux off. Get the majority of that off. Take a piece of kept on tape. It's not really the way I wanted that to go on there. Put that down. And then we'll put our stencil over top of that. moved. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, as long as you can see all the pads. That should work itself out once we get done. And this method I'm using is one I just kind of came up with. I don't know if there may be better methods out there, but I just take some flux, make sure I get it in all the holes. We're going to be using 0.25 mil balls on this particular IC. I use sewing needles. I use 2 needles, that way I can kind of control where they go. And I see, I've seen some devices where you can mount the IC, but I've not seen any for a IC this size. Most of those are for larger ICs, such as GPUs or CPUs or something like that. I've not seen anything for an IC this size, a device that lets you apply the balls mechanically instead of by hand. Depending on the IC size I'm doing, depends on how many balls I try to get on my needle. My balls actually have a little bit of, I think there's a little bit of flux in the packaging. It makes them just a little bit sticky, and so they'll kind of stick to one needle. If I put one needle in the packaging, and depending on how many I need, I'll just kind of guess how many gets on the side of my needle. Obviously I got too much that time. Okay, so we've got all our balls on. Now we're going to heat. One thing I can tell you about this is your flux is going to start to boil. And whenever it starts to boil, if you're not real careful, it'll actually boil your balls out. They'll make contact with another ball, and then you'll have 2 balls in one hole and none in the other. So you want to kind of watch this step and add heat real slow and let it boil the flux off first. You see now it's starting to boil. So we're just going to heat real slow. And whenever I see it starting to boil, I'm going to back off a little bit until it looks like they're starting to seat, which they're seating now. Alright, so that looks good. And what I was telling you about the stencil not needing to be perfectly lined, the balls are on there, they're on the pads, but they may not be exactly where they should be, but they're stuck. So we're good. So we'll carefully remove the tape. Sometimes, depending on how even the balls are and how they're setting, the IC may come out really easy. Okay, so this one right here's got a little bit of tension on it, and so what I'll do is just very easily push on the corners of the IC. If I get any resistance, I'm going to stop, but as you can see, the IC pushed right out, and I'm missing one of my balls. Okay, so this right here is pretty easy to fix, and it happens occasionally. Actually, I'm not going to put any flux on that. Now we'll heat all the balls, and it'll center all the balls. And as they cool, you should start seeing them change colors. There they go. Alright. Now there's still a little bit of flux on there, but you can see what that looks like. And whenever if you look at the balls, you can actually see they've got some little pin holes in them right on the ends, and that's where there wasn't flux all the way right on the end of the balls, and so they kind of oxidized just a little bit. whenever we put flux on the board and apply this IC, all this right here will take care of itself. So anyways, I hope this helps. Have a great day.